Sometimes the evil of this world is subtle. Sometimes the people who are against God are subtle in the way that they speak, in the words that they choose, in the directions they choose to take. And we find this in Satan himself as well. If we look in the book of Genesis in the Old Testament of the Bible, chapter 3, we can read about how Satan, coming in the form of a snake, lied to Adam and Eve about the fruit of the knowledge of the good and evil. He lied to them. He said that if they ate it, they wouldn't die. But he put some truth in there as well. He said to them, if you eat the fruit that God has forbidden from you, you'll be like God, knowing good and evil. And even God confirms this later, that they now had this knowledge of being of good and evil, as God does himself. But he still lied. And often our enemy's lies are really subtle. Let's take a read of this to see how Satan lied to Adam and Eve. And he wasn't this light bearer of truth without lies, and he isn't this moral person that we can look up to as a Satanist would tell you he is. He is a disgusting creature, and it's a crying shame that anyone would ally themselves to him. He is scum, he is evil, he's something that we should stay away from and have no part with. So let's read it, chapter 3 of the book of Genesis. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. What is that word, cunning? Let's have a look. Cunning, having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit and evasion. Deceit and evasion. So Satan obtains his means by lying and evading the consequences of his actions and evading righteousness. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? So he's putting doubt in the woman's mind. He's questioning what God has said to her. And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. So God's warning, if you go and eat this fruit or even touch it, you are going to die. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you'll be like God, knowing good and evil. So the woman proceeds to take the fruit and then have her husband eat it as well. And then God finds out about this, and he proceeds to put curses on both Adam and Eve. He gives Eve pain during childbirth, and he gives Adam the curse of working for the rest of his life. So, as we go on though, in chapter 5, we find evidence that Satan, that serpent, definitely lied. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. So this proves that Satan lied to Adam and Eve because Adam died. It's proof that he lied. You can't have a half-truth or just some truth. Things are either true or they're false. They're either the truth or they're lies. And in this case, we have proof that the devil lied, because he said that when you eat that fruit, you will not die. When Adam ate the fruit and he died. So this is proof that we cannot trust Satan, as Jesus said he's a liar from the beginning, and there's no truth in him that is worthy of knowing. He is a liar. So we need to be careful with Satan and those who align themselves with Satan, the Satanists, who hold him in high esteem, as he is a very dangerous individual, and the people who follow him are also dangerous. Satanists live by a creed, do as thou wilt, as long as you cause no harm. And the way they get round the idea of causing harm to others, because they cause a tremendous amount of harm, is they warn the person they're going to harm of the harm they're going to do to them before they do it. And if that person, in their eyes, is stupid enough to then get harmed, then it is not the sin of the person committing that offence on that victim. It's actually the victim's sin, because the victim was told what would happen and they did it anyway. That's the way that they dance around the responsibility of their actions. They say, I've pronounced what I'm going to do to this victim. If they don't do anything about it, and then I carry out my action on them, it's the victim's fault, not mine. That's genuinely how Satanists think, which is disgusting because it's not true, because your actions and your words and your thoughts regarding sin are yours and yours alone, and you are responsible for them. It's not due to the stupidity or ignorance of other people, for them not defending themselves, that is the issue here. It's the persecutor, the perpetrator, the offender. It's their fault, it's their sin, not the victims. It's kind of like when a group of disgusting men blame a female victim for dressing in clothes that are revealing for why they raped her. No one in their right mind would say that it's the victim's fault, because the action of rape was forced upon that woman by the perpetrators. It's not the woman's fault. It's the same in the case of Satanists. It is not our fault that we become victims of them. It's their fault for them sinning against us, and that's final. I hope you gained something from this video about the nature of Satan and the nature of Satanists. Like this video, comment and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. God bless you.